Alright, welcome to the speed build and of course a review and thoughts on this after I rebuild it. Of course, the smaller version is also available for Speed's Champions now, so I kind of have to sort of compare this visually to it. I won't necessarily review it compared to this, but this is in my mind when I'm recreating this, so just keep that in mind as well. This is one of the few that I have gotten secondhand, and I have actually not built myself. I already have a few things that I'm just looking at right now that I can easily see that I don't like, but I mean, I haven't actually played with this, and I know basically nothing about this set until I rebuild it, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that and then give you guys my thoughts on it. I am sure you know how the buttons work down there by now, so do click them as you please. Let's get to the speed build and then my review. Here we go. Alright, it is done. So, a few things to go over. It was definitely built wrong when I first got it. There was some pieces exposed here that definitely shouldn't have been exposed. I don't know what was going on with that, but it definitely looks better now, so I gotta say that. So, starting off with features, we're gonna go from front to back, back to front. And the first and main one in the back is the nice shield that definitely covers the window actually better than I thought it would, considering the window is so slanted down there. It's got a really hard angle, and that definitely covers all of it. Just, yeah, it's really nice. Cute little thing. And then you got the, of course, switching license plate thing. I will say this is kind of too easy to rotate around, but not too bad overall. And then you can, of course, open the trunk to reveal two extra pieces. So these little rods right here are meant to be extenders for the wheels, and for this you just take off these little, well, easier said than done. You take out these little black parts on this. Yeah, not having a little one of those little rods to push through this in order to get it out, that makes it a lot more difficult. Okay, so now that that's out, basically what you got to do, you put that on there instead, and you put these, and it's just is a little extender for the little spikes that go on the wheels, and of course you can put it on both sides, but I'm not gonna spend that much time going on and doing that. So let me go ahead and reset this real quick, and bam. So I do like that it has a very functional trunk to begin with. The trunk, you know, it works well. I will say that this piece here that the trunk actually goes into, it's very flimsy, this piece that the window is connected to, because it's only connected with some little clips down in there, and that does kind of frequently come unclipped when you're just opening the trunk. So I'll say that, not the most stable of things that I've seen in Lego, but it works well enough that it's not too big of a deal. And now, moving on to quite possibly the coolest feature of this whole build, and that starts from the back, and that is the, of course, ejector seat. So if you pull this whole thing back and then you let it go, it shoots a seat out. And as you can see, that tends to work pretty well, actually. It works a lot better than I thought it would. You just pull that back, pulls the roof back, and you let it go, and it shoots that seat up. And the seat is durable enough that it's not gonna just break into pieces when it gets shot up. So that's nice. And yeah, that works well, honestly. I think that's it's a good little feature, very James Bondy. I would have expected nothing less than an ejector seat, and it works perfectly, I would say. The only downside is having to put it back and reset it, but that's super easy, so yeah, not even a downside, really. And of course, you got opening doors. I do like the hinge that they have going on for the opening doors. The little hinge in there looks and feels really nice. And yeah, so now these other features, I'm gonna have to get my camera and we're gonna show it in a better way, hopefully, because those go into the interior. Okay, so now looking into the interior, you can see there's this little gear right here, and if we rotate that, that rotates the center console thing, and you can bring up James Bond's little navigation map thing there. And not really sure what that map is supposed to be, but there is a tiny little map on there that you can kind of make out something on there, but nothing too crazy. And then, of course, we have the console there, and that has 5 different of those little printed pieces, so that's nice. This wheel doesn't actually turn or do anything, doesn't turn the front wheels or anything like that, unfortunately, but you can, I guess, technically adjust the up and the down of the wheel, so that's a thing-ish. And the last feature that is in here is, of course, the switching of this front thing here with the lever. So normally, if you put it all the way forward, if you have it all the way forward like this, it has these lights right here, and then if I am to switch it back like this, it'll switch those lights into little guns, and I think that is just super cool. So yeah, that is one of the last features of this, unless you technically consider having a removable and visible engine a feature. I don't really consider this a feature. I consider this a must with a creator expert car. I really don't think this is a feature. I think this is a must, especially when it comes to cars and creator expert. But the other things, when it comes to the functions and stuff in this car, gotta say, this is one of the cooler cars that I have built in Creator Expert. I don't really have any problem with the overall look. So I know the front of this car definitely looks a little bit worse than the Speed's Champion one, but at the same time, there's so much just functionality and stuff in this that really I can forgive any of the minor details and looks, and it looks close enough to what the car is supposed to look like that I can kind of forgive there not being like a nice curve here on the back or something like that. But overall, really good looking car, not a bad build, and honestly really fun features, just very playable even as an adult. I gotta do this one last time. Yeah, ejector seat is just so fun, and super easy to reset, so yeah, just no super huge complaints. I guess you can kind of see a lot of the mechanism in there, but that's kind of cool to see the mechanism through the window. I'm not gonna lie, I don't really hate that. So just something to point out. I mean, if you don't like seeing that kind of stuff, that's totally fine, but for me, I think it's kind of cool to see the mechanism through the window on the back window. And yeah, it's just so fun. I can't get over it. Really glad I rebuilt this. The only thing that I am missing from rebuilding it is these front silver pieces. These are supposed to be chromed or gun lacquered silver tube pieces right here and right here, and I didn't have any extras, and there apparently needed to be 2 more that I don't have and weren't here. So unfortunately, I don't have 2 whole pieces in this build, but the rest of them I did have, and yeah, I genuinely enjoyed this, and I think it's actually cooler than I thought it would be, honestly. I had some low expectations going into this with this car, but honestly, it's a better build than I thought it would be. I enjoyed it more, and I definitely enjoy the features and the playability of it a lot more than I thought I would. So, with that, thank you all for watching. I am sure you know how the buttons work down there by now, so do click them as you please. Mr. HiYodaPanda, out.